Welcome back to the podcast, boys. So this one's going to be a little bit different. This one is me, myself, and I. I realized as we've gone through, some of the podcasts that we've done that I haven't really, that I haven't really shared my story at all. Leading this thing, I feel like I kind of owe that to you guys. First things first, though, we hit 100 fucking listeners on YouTube, and it's just crazy. I mean, we started this podcast because, we've been talking about this for years. We just want to give veterans a place where they can share their stories. I think it really does help veterans mentally because there's not a lot of places where they can share their stories and vent to people because civilians just don't understand. They really don't. I mean, I've tried to tell some of my civilian friends or whatnot, some stories, and it's hard because they can't relate, and there's not a whole lot they can say back to that, right? We also don't have that same sense of humor, which can be a big issue. Yeah, we just want to give veterans a platform to be able to share their stories in a safe space, and we can just have great conversations, man. That's all we wanted to do, and at the end of the day, the goal remains the same, no matter how many listeners we do have or how many listeners we do not have. Likes, follows, none of that shit matters, man. None of that shit matters, and that was never the goal. So, but yeah, 100. I think we have just over 100 on YouTube, and we have like 1,800 on TikTok. So if you're listening to this from TikTok, feel free to check out the YouTube, show some love and support there. It's crazy, man. I think we're doing something really, really well. Me, Gideon, and Mike, and we're super stoked. I mean, we're super stoked to get this ball rolling. But enough about that. So I guess my story, man. Born and raised Milwaukee, Wisconsin. You know about Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's not the best city in the world. It's pretty ghetto. Crime rate is huge, and it's only gone up since I've left. I had a decent childhood. I could get things that I wanted. We weren't made for money, brought up for money, nothing crazy, but I had a decent childhood, man. I remember living in a couple different homes growing up, moved a lot. No, I wouldn't say a lot. Last time we moved was my middle school. So we moved from one city to the next in sixth grade, and then I stuck out middle school and high school in the same spot, and it was cool, man. I had a really good time going into high school. I pretty athletic, did a couple different sports, had an injury that set me back, but bounced back pretty quickly, and I found wrestling. And I mean, it was love at first sight, dude. I mean, if you know anything about jiu-jitsu, wrestling, anything like that, it really puts your competitiveness to the test, and it was unlike anything else. I mean, it was a lot of fun, taught me a lot of discipline, and I think that's really what led me to the military. Going through high school, I wasn't that I wasn't smart, I just hated it. And I think that's a lot of people. You're smart and you just fucking hate high school, so you just breeze by, and that's exactly what I did. I wanted to get into some sort of trade, didn't want to go to college. Typical military route, right? Typical military route. And I enlisted in the military. I'll back up a little bit. I met my current wife in high school. She actually wrestled for a different team, and we met through high school at a different school. And she was nothing but supportive from then until now. I mean, it's been nothing but support and love, and I couldn't ask for anything greater than that. I really, really couldn't. Um, Enlisted in the military, DEP program. I think it was only a couple months that I waited. And then July 31st, 2018 is when I shipped out to basic. And basic alone, man, basic alone, I mean, it's not the hardest thing in the world, but when you're fresh out of high school, mentally, that is a fucking challenge. I mean, it was tough being away from home for the first time. I think that was really the hardest thing, especially my new girlfriend at the time, being away from her, and you hear about all these military stories about, women cheating on their boyfriends or their husbands when they're away, but that was the hardest thing mentally. It really, really was. Physically, it was okay. I mean, it is demanding. All the PT tests, the ruck marches, being out in the field for so long, getting smoked all the time, shit like that. My biggest piece of advice, if you're going to basic, if you're listening, whether that's on YouTube or TikTok, um, dude, just lock in with your physical fitness beforehand. If you think you're ready, you're probably not. Do more. Um, get ready for the PT tests, figure out what those events are, because I think there's two different ones now. There's a combat fitness test and then a regular fitness test, or the combat fitness test is getting implemented next year. I think I saw something about that. But lock in with your fitness. Get your mental health straight, because if you go in there with bad mental health, I think that's going to cause you some issues. The hardest thing is just being away from everybody. But as soon as you get into basic training, you're going to build and form relationships with people that, I mean, they're going to be unbreakable. There's still a couple really, really good buddies now that I'm even a couple years out that I still really talk to. And those were started during basic training or very, very early on in my military career. You'll find that niche of people, man. You'll find it. And technical difficulties. All right, we're back. Okay. One of the big things that I really got into, and one of the pillars of this podcast, is faith. Growing up, I was raised in a Christian-ish household. I wouldn't say household. It was someone else in my family that really instilled God into us. But basic training, there's a lot of time that's spent alone. And I started digging into my faith really, really heavy. And God was a huge part. I mean, even where I'm at now, without him, I'm nothing. We're nothing, right? If you are on the brink of getting into your faith, don't be. Jump right into it, because you are going to progress so much if you have him by your side and you believe that he died for our sins. I truly, truly do believe that. He's going to help you out so much through basic training and then for the rest of your life. If you are on the edge of it, I'll say it again. If you are on the edge of jumping into your faith, do it. I promise you, you will not regret it. Like I said, huge part of basic training was that. And then getting out or graduating basic training was crazy. I remember, I think I talked about this in one of my last episodes, maybe in the first episode, but I remember I had my buddy Gideon, he's our co-host. We were super tight throughout this whole process, throughout all the basic, and I got my orders, and I was going to Fort Lewis, Washington. Yeah, Fort Lewis. And he was going to Colorado, and say our goodbyes, talk to you soon, and get on the bus, ready to go to the airport. Someone walks on, gives me a new set of orders, and it's to fucking Fort Carson. And I truly do believe that was God. I mean, no doubt. Like, what are the odds that I get on this bus, last minute, my orders get changed, dude, to my best buddy's base, which it sounds fucking crazy, but that's God. It is, because even now we have a super tight relationship, man. Every once in a while, you get that friendship or that relationship, and for whatever reason, it just doesn't go away. And I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that in a negative way. Not at all. Yeah, so get on the bus, find out we're going to Carson, and get to Carson and go down there. My wife comes down there. Well, my girlfriend at the time goes down there. We get married, and then 2 weeks later, I'm off on deployment. That was a crazy experience, being brand new at a unit. And I just remember getting overseas, landing at the airstrip. Keep in mind, I do not know what to expect. Like, I think I'm on maybe the second or third flight, so there's already people there. And I just thought, we got off this airplane, and we got in these fucking like Haji buses, where if you've never been on deployment or overseas or in the military, there's these buses, and then there's these drapes. It's more like a van, really, but there's drapes, and they're like, don't open the drapes, right? So I get off the plane, we get on these buses, these vans, and I'm like, holy shit, I'm gonna start getting shot at. My perception of this was completely flawed. Like I did not know what I was running into. So this whole time I'm on the bus, I'm keeping my head down. I'm like, oh my god, 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 I'm gonna get shot. I'm gonna get shot. I'm gonna get shot. But no, it was smooth sailing to the base. And that was the start of a long 9 months. I mean, we did a lot of training. We got tasks as a QRF force, and we actually got reacted out to a different country. I'm not going to say where. Got reacted to out to a different country because there was some stuff going on, and there's a lot of stories in there that I'm going to save for some of the other episodes. We talked about a little bit in the first or the second episode, I believe. We're going to also come out with a deployment survival guide, if you will, kind of just telling our stories and our perspective of deployment. Go through 9 months, get put out to a different country, reacting as a QRF force. Did some cool stuff, if you will. We did our jobs, which was cool. A lot of people in the military, you don't do your job. You don't do it at all. You train, and you get out and you never did your job. But luckily I can say that at least I did. So that was really, really cool. Get back and shit, we go a couple months without doing anything. And then we get tasked with a really, really, really cool training. I'll just say we were testing some stuff. We'll leave it at that. And that was fucking cool. I mean, I don't know how much I can say or what I can, but we did some cool testing on some stuff, and we got back from that. And that was, I think, it was either a month or 3 months. My timeline is skewed. It was either a month or 3 months. We get back. Actually, it's when we were there. This thing called COVID, whatever COVID is. COVID, like, there was talks about it, and everybody was like, all right, yeah, whatever. And we get back, and it's like, hey, don't show up to work tomorrow. We're going to do rotations. You're going to come every other day. And we're like, holy shit, like, this is serious. Like, this isn't a joke. So that whole year, I mean, it flew by. I mean, you guys were flying by too. The time was just not a thing. It was like the whole world felt like it shut down. And I think that fucked up a lot of people. I think it fucked up a lot of people mentally. Just because, I mean, you went from socializing every day to, working every day, shopping normally, just living a normal life, to nothing. I mean, you couldn't even go out to the store sometimes. I know so many guys who their mental health was struggling. I know so many guys that it just feel like they fell off a bridge because that socialization just wasn't there anymore, and it's tough. I mean, being alone. Being vulnerable to you guys right now. I mean, being alone is tough, and for everybody. Like, you can say it's not, but when you get lonely and you can't talk to people, you don't talk to people, or whatever it may be, you're not going to work, you get bored, your mind starts spiraling. Like, those are the times you got to keep yourself busy. One thing that I fell on heavily was my fitness. And I actually just found that back last year, and I'm very, very proud of myself for doing that, because I know, all it takes is, next thing you know, you're a fucking chunky dude. Leave it at that. You look at yourself, you're a chunky dude. But yeah, I relied heavily on fitness. Relied heavily on a couple of buddies. My wife, my kid. No, I didn't have my kid yet. Not yet. But yeah, COVID was really weird in the military. It really, really was. But get through COVID, and then the rest of my contract was kind of a blur. I just remember going through getting out of the military, which, check out the episode. I think it was the second episode with me and Mike. We talked about getting out and going through SFL TAP, getting all your fucking signatures, turning in all your gear. It's a fucking process. They don't want to let you out, so they make it hard to do. They really make it hard to do. Got out, and I enjoyed myself for a little bit. I had a job as soon as I got out, and that was the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing because going from a combat arms job to the civilian world, not even that. I mean, I was 18 when I got in. I had no real world experience outside the military. So it was really like I was trying to figure out not only what to do, but who I was at the time. That was tough. Worked at a dealership for a little bit. I got fired like 3 or 4 different times. Correction, I quit like 3 or 4 different times. Okay, maybe quit 2 or 3 times. Got fired once or twice from the same position at the same place, and they kept letting me back, which is hilarious. Um, and then I found a different job, and it kind of got me rolling. I worked for an auto glass company. Doesn't sound like the coolest line of work, but dude, it was the coolest group of people. I mean, nobody was military there except for maybe 1 or 2 guys. And I just felt like I fit in, dude. Everybody was super dope, super chill. And it's still probably one of the most fun jobs that I had outside the military, even up to this point. I mean, if you guys are listening to this, and I worked with you guys at that auto glass shop, you guys know like that shit was so much fun, dude. It made me realize that I didn't want to go back in the military, that there was hope on the other side. Um, yeah, did that. Stayed in Colorado until 2023. Yeah, 2020 into 2023. And then relocated my family to a different state, back home to Wisconsin. And that was an adjustment. Shit, every single move, every single job opportunity, everything was an adjustment. And I'm just fucking 5 years later, I'm just figuring out, truly, I'm just figuring out who I am. And I feel like now with this podcast and the group of people that I surround myself with and my good habits here and my bad habits gone, I truly feel like I'm figuring out what my purpose is. And it is such a good feeling once you find that. I mean, some people get out of the military and they find their purpose right away, and that's fucking awesome, dude. It's fucking awesome. And I wish I had that, but I didn't. And it took me so long to figure it out, but I think I really figured it out. And now we're just here to grind. We're here to grind out the podcast and network with different people. And boys, I cannot wait for you guys to be along on this ride because we have some really, I promise you, we have some really, really, really cool guests lined up. I'm not going to spoil anything. Maybe I'll make an announcement later this week or something if you've listened up to this point. But yeah, so moved to Wisconsin, continued to work for that auto glass company for a little bit. And then Mike, actually, I got into his line of work. So I wanted to get into his line of work when we were in Colorado. I just didn't have the opportunity to. Nobody was hiring for it in the trades. And, you know, job application, just kept dropping them to a bunch of different companies out here in Wisconsin. Finally, I had one company reach out to me, and it's just been skyrocketing from there. It really has. And throughout all this, I'm going to hit back on this again. I'm not a huge preacher. I don't preach about God. I'm not a disciple, if you will, right? But man, without that relationship, I can't imagine where I would be. And I truly give all the glory to him. It's just every opportunity that has came my way, whether I was looking for it or not, it has truly made my life for the better. Yes, we had rocky roads. Yes, we had up and downs. But looking back where I was even a year ago till now, 2 years ago to now, 3 years, on and on and on, I couldn't imagine being in a better spot. And again, it's all because of him. I'm going to let that sit for a second. If you are on the brink of your faith, please make that jump. Because there's nothing better, dude. There's nothing better, and I will take that to the grave. People are going to fucking hate on you. People are going to think it's cheesy. I don't give a fuck. You shouldn't give a fuck. And at the end of the day, it's your life. It's my life. And if that's how you want to live your life, walking in stride with God, do it. I promise you won't regret it. Yeah, this whole time, over the past couple years, I have just continued my faith and I've really dug into it. Because growing up, I was always on the edge. You know how it is. If you're listening to this point, you know how it is. If you were raised in a Christian household, you may have built some resentment towards God because the people that were preaching the word of God to you, they weren't following in the footsteps that God would have. So they skewed your idea of Christianity. And in a way, I feel like that's kind of what happened with me. But at the end of the day, that's not Christianity, right? Christianity is what's in the Bible. Christianity is, it's what's in the Bible and what's preached inside of that. It's not the people around you. Nobody is perfect. Nobody's going to live like God because he was perfect and we're not. It's just crazy. But yeah, getting back into it, worked for the auto glass company, got into the line of work I'm in now, and I work in the trades, and it's been fucking awesome, dude. And again, I had some company issues and stuff. Been through 3 different HVAC companies now, and again, dude, every opportunity that was presented to me has just been a step forward. It's been a step up. Can't be any more grateful. And, this is where I'm at now. Still in this line of work, and we're actually thinking about making a big move next year, and I'm super, super excited for that. I do have 3 kids, happily married, but 7 years now, almost, still got 3 years, but almost 10 years. That's fucking insane. Yeah, that's a little bit about me. I just want to say thank you guys, truly from the bottom of my heart. We had and have a vision for this on what we want to do, and I hope that we can keep delivering for you. We are having some fucking... We've been making moves in the background, definitely making some moves. We're just having some fucking amazing people on, and we just want to have good conversations. And we're going to have conversations from... active military members, veterans, spouses. We have a daughter of a, don't hold me to this, it's in her bio, but a daughter of her grandfather was in Vietnam, and he was a 3-time Purple Heart recipient, a Bronze Star, Silver Star, and then her grandfather was a scout sniper in World War II, and she has a bunch of stories. So I think seeing it from that perspective, not only for you guys, for me too, is going to be super, super cool. We have a DOD contractor lined up who did like 30 years. We just have so many people, man. And I'm super excited. I wish I could get all this. I wish I could just talk to them all tonight, but obviously that's not how that works, and push them out to you guys tomorrow. But we're going to stack them up. We're going to stick with this. I truly believe that this is part of my purpose, just to give veterans a platform to speak on. Giving them a platform to speak on where they can tell their stories, because at the lower level, down by me where I was, even, up there into the high NCOs and officers and warrant officers and, Navy, Marine, whatever it may be, there's such a huge story that's missed. And that's one thing that I notice as I'm listening to these podcasts, because I listen to podcasts a lot. Nobody brings on the average Joes. And I just think that's, some of the funniest shit I've ever heard is down on that level. Some of the coolest shit I've heard is down on that level. And I just want to give those guys their props, because if you served in the military, even 1 contract, 2 contract, whatever it may be, dude, take fucking pride in that. Don't take shit from anybody because you only did a contract. I don't give a fuck. I did my time. I take pride in that. And now I want to give other people a chance to tell their stories. But yeah, coming up on 20 minutes here. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I wanted to hop on here, give my side of the story, show some appreciation for all the listeners. Like I said, we officially hit 100, which is insane. I think 17 or 1800 on TikTok. If you're listening on TikTok, go check out our YouTube. Show YouTube some support because that's going to be our primary posting. And then we also have a Spotify. Feel free to check out the Spotify E4 Mafia podcast. Leave a review, rate us. Helps us a ton, boys. Let's get this thing rolling. Let's take this thing to another level, and let's allow these veterans to come on and tell their stories. But besides that, boys, we are recording a really cool one this weekend. Should be out on Monday if everything goes accordingly. Besides that, thank you guys for listening. Feel free to drop us a follow, like, comment. Let me know any questions you guys might have, and we will catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.